Hey guys, what's going on, man? I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Right. So look, I've decided to do my own review of Primerica, and I'm going to call it Primerica before and after. Okay. I've been contemplating on doing this review for a long time, and honestly, just been super busy, just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. But I was online recently, just kind of looking at, some of the reviews that have been, published and things like that. I just decided that I would go and just do my own, just to kind of give people, I guess a different perspective. I am a licensed agent in the financial services industry and have been so now for over 10 years. Okay. And I've worked with a number of companies, independent, as well as, companies structured, similar to Primerica, right? Now, let me say this. I'm going to kind of give my background story as to how I got involved in the financial services field, period, because I think it's just, really good to understand the backstory, if you will. But just for the record, man, I was not a fan of Primerica Financial Services whatsoever. As a matter of fact, like some of you guys, I used to absolutely hate the company. Um, just wasn't a big fan of it, right? But we'll talk about that, So let's dive right into it. So I decided to get licensed in the financial services field, man, yeah, over 10 years ago, right? And the reason I decided to get licensed in the beginning, guys, and it was really twofold. One, my wife and I had just recently got married. We've been married now a little over 14 years. And, we got married out the day in 2.5 months, by the way. I know this isn't a video promoting, love and all that other stuff, but yeah, I just thought I'd, put it out. We dated for 2.5 months, man. We've been together for over 14 years, and hey, we still love and like each other just as much today as what we did when we, decided to get married. Anyway, so we got married, man, and you know, as you guys can imagine, man, being married is different, right? And yes, my story about financial services is starting off with the fact that I got married, because things are different when you have a family, involved, right? And my wife and I were ignorant when it came to finances. We didn't understand money. We had what we believed at the time to be pretty decent paying jobs. I mean, I was maybe making 40 or so grand a year, and she was, making a little bit more than me. We got married when I was 25. So yeah, I thought it was pretty decent money at the time, but we didn't understand it, right? So as a result of poor management, lack of knowledge, etc. I mean, the same thing I'm sure I know a lot of other people are dealing with. We kind of fell in that rat race where we were living, paycheck to paycheck. Honestly, we weren't even living paycheck to paycheck. We were living more like overdraft to overdraft, if I'm just being real. Like, we would get, like, I can remember getting paid and my check, would be ate up in almost all overdraft fees, right? So naturally, I kind of got caught up in that whole payday loan cycle, robbing from Peter to pay Paul. And that was just never ending. And here's what happened, right? I mean, we would get paid. My wife and I worked at the same job. This is where we met at. Yeah, she was walking down the hallway, and I stepped to her. And anyway, the rest is history. Um, so some may say I'm a pretty good salesperson. I don't know. I don't try to be, but I can be ambitious, I guess, when I want to be, right? So anyway, we would get paid, and my wife would pay all of the bills. Okay, so if there was, let's say, $2,000 in our account, and let's say our bills were, 1,900, she would pay all of the bills. The problem was is that it often left us with little to no money for travel, for food, just any other expenses that may come up. So it was really tough. She was happy because the bills were paid. I was frustrated because we were broke again. Okay. Look, for you guys that don't know my wife, y'all don't know my wife, but man, she's a very just happy, go lucky type of person. I used to say that she lived in the clouds, like cloud nine, just always, doing great, regardless of the circumstances, by the way. And look, she's a four-time cancer survivor, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But anyway, for me, I'm looking at my bank account, and we went from having some money to having no money so doggone fast. It had my head spinning. And then the hospital that we were working at were, laying people off. They had put out a bulletin. I'll never forget it. They were like, "Hey guys, look, we don't know if we're going to be able to pay y'all in 2 weeks or not, right? We're just letting you know you may not have a check in 2 weeks, but we're trying to figure it out." If you've never been laid off before, man, it's a horrible experience, to go from, being able to provide or something like that to just having the livelihood, kind of stripped away from you. I mean, it was tough. I've been through it before, and here I was on the verge of going through it again. And, so on top of not managing well, now I'm realizing that I may not have anything to manage at all. So, and for you guys that have been in that situation, you can definitely understand. So I knew a guy that sold insurance. I didn't really know what type. I didn't know anything about insurance whatsoever. But what I did know is that I was tired of struggling. I was tired of not knowing, and I approached him one day. Okay, I've never had a problem with approaching people that may appear to be doing things that I may be interested in doing. Okay, so anyway, I approached him and I asked him. I said, "Look, man, how much money a month do you make doing this?" Okay, he used to come to the floor that I worked on there at the hospital all the time, and seemed like he'll be in and out. I would see some people signing some stuff, and boom, he'll pick up his briefcase and he's out of there. So what he told me was that, look, if I don't help another client this month, I'll still make $10,000. Now, some of you guys are balling out of control, and $10,000 ain't nothing to you. I get it, but at that time, I never made $10,000 in a month before. So yeah, like I wanted some of the action. Okay. Not only that, but remember my job was threatening to lay me off. So, I wasn't in a position to say no to an opportunity. By the way, opportunity is defined as a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. Man, I was looking for something that would allow me, to take care of my expenses and to be able to put my family in a position that I felt like they deserved to be in. Okay. I like to think that if you're out there and if you have a family, somebody you love, that, you want to provide for them above and beyond, as well. I mean, that right there was my thing. I've always maybe just kind of been a legacy guy. I just didn't understand or have the knowledge to be able to structure such a plan to, put my family in a better position. So anyway, this gentleman introduced me to another guy. Okay. And I went to meet with this other guy, and I took two people that were very close to me to meet with this gentleman. And man, after the conversation, we get back in the car, and our friends are like, "Yo, I'm out. Right? I ain't doing it. Did you see this guy? He's talking about making all this money, but did you see, the shirt he was wearing or the shoes or something like that?" And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember what the guy had on. Man, I was so focused on the information that I didn't see that, right? We were there for two different reasons. I wasn't even there because I wanted to know if the guy that was presenting information was really making a lot of money. I wanted to know, one, if the information could truly help me personally make a difference in my financial situation. And if I, came to the conclusion that it could, well, why not be in a position to help somebody else do the same? This was not Primerica, by the way. This was another, company. So, I took him up on his offer. The two people I invited, just tore the guy apart. Mind you, honestly, like one of those, people just recently got, a better job, but they had been doing the same thing for so long. And the other person, is still trying to just, figure life out a little bit, right? I'm still pretty close to both of them, as a matter of fact, and I think they're both, good people. We just had a different mindset. At that moment in my life, like I wanted something that nobody I knew in my, immediate circle could provide for me. I wanted to change my situation financially, and nobody that I knew had any of the answers to my problem. We were all kind of in the same boat. And if y'all are honest, probably most of the people that may be in a similar situation as you, hence birds of a feather kind of, flock together, if you believe that. I believe that, by the way. But anyway, so look, I got licensed. I took the guy up on the offer. I got licensed. I can't remember how much it cost me at the time, but I'm sure it was a couple $100s. I got licensed. 4 weeks after getting my license, I quit my job. Okay, I quit my job, guys, because just being honest, I was making more money, writing those policies than what I was, spending 40 plus hours, on my job. Okay, so it came down to a point to where I was literally trying to figure out, do I go to work or do I go on this appointment, right? So if I go to work, maybe I'll make $130 or something like that, for the night. I was working 12-hour shifts. If I went to go see this family, maybe I'll make, five, 600, $800 or something like that, right? So for me, guys, it was kind of no brainer. I mean, I go make the 130, with some of y'all, it's guaranteed money. I mean, you're going to make $130. This other money you don't know if you're technically going to make. And you're right, I didn't. But I guess either I had enough confidence in myself or I realized that I didn't have a choice based upon my current set of circumstances. So I went to go and see the client. And look, I mean, I guess I was a good closer. I mean, I was making money. And was I closing everybody I sat with? No, right? But if I closed one person and I made $600, I mean, that's more than what I would have made, on my job working a couple of shifts, a few shifts. So I felt like I was winning. I quit my job. Okay. And then I went back to the same job, not as an employee, but as a licensed financial representative. And now I'm talking to these same people about their insurance, and I'm just boom, 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 just picking up clients. So, I mean, it worked out, right? It really worked out. Hold on a second, guys. I got to plug up my laptop. I don't know why I didn't think about plugging up my laptop before I started shooting this video. But let me plug it up. It won't take me but a second here. Booyah. Okay. We're back in business. So, anyway, yeah, I worked in the financial services field for, a while. And I got the bright idea one day to open up a car dealership. Look, that's a story for another day. Okay. But a friend told me once that business is just ideas. And I guess I believed it. So I had an idea one day to open up a car dealership. And I sat on the sofa. Remember, my wife is just easy breezy. And I was like, babe, we should open up a car dealership. And my wife was like, yeah, bet, let's do it. So we went from I went from the financial services field. I dragged her into the car business. Around this time, and guys, this story isn't in chronological order, but around that time, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. Again, I mean, she's a 4-time survivor, but I think this must have been like, the 3rd time she's diagnosed with cancer. And, we're juggling a lot, right? Between running this dealership, that we knew nothing about prior, to having to, run back and forth to the hospital for chemo treatments and, surgeries and things like that. Man, I thank God every day that she's still here with me. Such a beautiful person. Anyway, if you guys follow this channel, we will be doing videos and stuff like that together. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. But anyway, we started a car dealership and I absolutely loved it. So I kind of, got out of the financial services field. By this time, I probably worked with a number of companies, just kind of bouncing around a little bit. And, worked in the auto industry for a number of years. And again, hated Primerica, guys. I used to, when I first got licensed, I used to go to Primerica offices to recruit the agents. Um, and look, if I'm just being real, just a moment of transparency, guys, Primerica never did nothing to me. Okay, I didn't like it because I was listening to a couple of the guys, a couple of the other agents that I worked with, just kind of talk, just bash the company or whatever. And I had an experience with two guys trying to recruit me, and they were talking about, and we're about to make money and change the world, Tremaine, and which I'm good with now. I mean, hey, I'm all for change, but they weren't making this money yet, and they couldn't articulate to me what we we're about to do to make so much money. Okay, so let me just say this: is everybody, in Primerica, amazing and fundamentally sound when it comes to, financial concepts and principles and all of that? Absolutely not. Everybody is not. I mean, they're just. I wish everybody was, but everybody is not. But the truth can be said about every industry. I mean, not every primary care physician, cares for their patients, the way that, patients want to be cared for. Not every, believe it or not every Chick-fil-A has, and I know this is going to be very controversial for a lot of people, but not all Chick-fil-A's have great customer service. I've walked into some, and, my experience wasn't the same as it was at some others. So I think the same goes to say for every industry. I do believe, personally. So yeah, you're going to run into some guys that are just not as knowledgeable. Maybe they're new, or maybe there are some guys that just don't make, you know, financial services, literacy, etc. Like their business. Maybe they're just in it for, a quick buck. And again, that's with every company. I mean, I've been around the block a little bit. I mean, I know a lot of guys that work at a lot of, maybe to y'all, maybe some of the more notable companies that are a piece of work themselves. Okay. So anyway, let me fast forward some. We're working in our dealership. I realized something, by the way. We were getting 100, maybe to 120 or so people through our front doors every month. The vast majority of those people look just like me. And man, they did not understand money. I mean, and it reminded me so much of myself when my wife and I had kind of, first got married, and it bothered me, and it made it difficult to sell people cars. I mean, you don't know how much money a month you're making, your credit sucks, your income is low. It makes it difficult, to do, you know good business with good people that are on hard times, right? So anyway, hey, we got together, with some other community leaders, and we put together some financial wellness workshops at our dealership, where we were offering, little workshops on credit, on budgeting, saving, all that good stuff. And hey, we weren't getting paid for it. Okay, there was no compensation our way, but my thought process was, if I can help Mr. and Mrs. Client, maybe get their credit together, maybe sort some things out, maybe 6 months later or so, when they're in a better position, they'll come back and they'll buy a car from me. That right there was my thought process about it. Anyway, I had a few people after some of the seminars to ask me a question, that I knew that they weren't going to get, I guess, the answer from the people that we were working with. It was a few banks. I mean, we were partnered with, but at this time, I just knew that they weren't going to go to this bank and get the information that they needed, because the banks are not in business of helping you make money, right? I mean, they're not. The banks are in the business of making money for themselves. And overdraft fees, believe it or not, is a $1 billion industry within itself. Okay. Anyway, so I had a kid. This right here was kind of the pivotal, moment, or the shift, in regards to Primerica for me. Now, mind you, I had a good friend of mine, and still a good friend of mine today, that was in Primerica. He used to come to my dealership all the time, talking to me about, hey, Primerica, Primerica, Primerica. I just wasn't trying to hear it, man. Like, hey, I don't want to hear that crap, man. That company sucks, whatever. And then I had a gentleman, walk into my store one day, young guy, basketball shorts, t-shirt. He was moving. He was renting a U-Haul. And as I'm processing his paperwork, he asked me a question. Something to the effect of, did I know that I could buy money, right? I never heard that concept before. Didn't know what he was talking about. He asked me for a piece of paper. He wanted to write something down, and he was just sharing some stuff with me, and I'm listening, but kind of not listening. But he said something that just made sense, and it caught my attention. By the way, I am that guy. If it makes sense, it makes sense. Okay. I've listened to a lot of the reviews that people have done, and if I'm honest, man, some of the stuff they're saying just really don't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, now that's me personally. If it makes sense, it makes sense, and that's just how I am. So anyway, it made sense, and here's what I thought to myself: man, if everybody in our community knew how to do what he just shared, man, our communities would look completely different. The value that he added, I really just thought was amazing. Then he hit me with, "Oh yeah, bro, I'm a regional vice president in Primerica Financial Service," and I was like, "Oh no, no, please tell me it ain't so." But he got me. Again, it made sense. The information was good, so I wanted to know more. And I decided to, pick my licenses back up and, get back on the saddle, in the financial services field. As a matter of fact, I later went to close my dealership. And, this is actually what we do, full time. I've been doing this full time since, 2017. And I absolutely love it today. I mean, I think that the company is absolutely amazing. I think that what we teach and how we help people is, nothing short of amazing. And I'm going to share some of that with you guys. And I'm going to use a few examples so you guys can understand, because I get it. Maybe you sat with somebody that, couldn't explain it, and maybe the pieces just didn't come together. That was my experience anyway. I had some guys trying to recruit me. And again, they were talking about all the money that we were going to make, but they at the time wasn't making any money, and they really couldn't explain to me what we were about to do to make this money. So I was out. I will say though, I will buy an idea if it makes sense. And you don't have to be making tons of money to be able to sell me on an idea of how we're about to make a lot of money, right? I mean, I listened to the Mark Zuckerberg story of Facebook. When he had the idea of connecting people all around the world, right, on the internet. I mean, a lot of people just didn't see it. There was people that couldn't see it. But when he was pitching the idea to he was pitching it to, I mean, he wasn't, Mark Zuckerberg, the, social media guru. Facebook wasn't Facebook yet. It was just an idea. When Steve Jobs, was creating, Apple, it was just an idea. When he was in, his parents' garage and he had his homeboys over, like, it was just an idea. That was it. Right. So I can buy into an idea if you can make it make sense to me. So anyway, this guy did a great job just making it make sense. So I came on board, and man, I was still a little doubtful. I won't lie to you. I was still cautious and things like that. And I'll tell you guys, like, some of the silly stuff, like some of the stories that this guy was telling me, I really just I didn't believe all of it, right? I thought that some of it was kind of fluff, to kind of make the opportunity seem more maybe than what it was. And I'm sure some of y'all skeptics out there probably feel the same way. And what happened was I got to meet this guy's parents, really nice people. And, just in talking to them, like on the side, getting to know them, they confirmed a lot of the stories that this guy had told me. I'm like, okay, all right. Hey, that's good news. Man, I seen a picture of home office once, like on a postcard or something like that. And I was just like, man, I didn't know if the place even existed because it just looked, too nice. Remember, in my mind, Primerica was this little company that, a few people that probably couldn't do anything else, decided to work with. Man, I was horrible, guys. I was horrible. But I come to find out, man, like, no, I mean, Primerica is a serious, legitimate financial services company, true enough, there is controversy around, the practices and things like that. And I'm gonna get into a lot of that today. But the company is, it is what it is. It's super legit. If you guys know anything about financial services, I mean, to even become an agent, you got to pass background checks. You got to go to class. You got to pass a test, a state test. If you want to get securities license and be in a position to offer investments, man, you got to go through more background checks, and it gets really, really serious, right? I mean, these are some of the most thorough background checks ever, okay? And you got to go to class and pass tests. You don't just decide one day, oh, I'm going to sell life insurance and investments and click your finger and you're there. Like you got to do some things. Like there's a lot of processes involved. So imagine if I got to do all of that just to become an agent, what a company must have to endure to be able to offer, an array of products and services within the financial services field, right? I mean, this isn't no small feat by no means, is what I'm saying. And Primerica is a publicly traded company on a New York Stock Exchange. I don't know if you guys know much about that, but it takes a lot, to become a publicly traded company. Again, you're not just snapping your fingers and doing this stuff. There's a lot of vetting, there's a lot of, research, there's a lot of digging, to make sure that you're, qualified and financially sound to even do that, right? Because you're going public. Okay. I mean, it's a big deal. Um, anyway, so, you know, I'm gonna share my screen really quick with y'all, and I am gonna talk about just some of the background information on Primerica. Look, this ain't a recruiting spiel. I'm just offering a different perspective, maybe, right? That's it. My perspective, my experience, like everybody else has done. Okay, so look, and this won't be long. Primerica was founded in 1977, right? So it's been around for a long time, by a guy named Art Williams. The name of the company used to be A.O. Williams. Art Williams was a football coach. He's still around today, that decided to start his own insurance agency because he didn't like how Prudential treated his family, right? They sold them a very low face amount policy for a lot of money. He later come to realize that what they were spending for $10,000 worth of coverage, they could have had, $100,000 worth of coverage. And it pissed him off. So he called some of his homeboys over. Guys, look, I'm a real guy, man. And look, it's late, so hey, if you don't like some of the language or whatnot, forgive you, right? But anyway, he called over some of his homeboys and, they come together. 7 people became 89 people, 89 people. I think when Art Williams sold Primerica, I think he had like 250,000 licensed agents, which is a big feat. The company went through some changes after going through, changes, as you can imagine, being sold and having new ownership and stuff like that. And this slide right here is a little old too, but right now, Primerica have something like 130,000 licensed agents. Again, is everybody doing it the right way? Absolutely not. I wish they were. We are independent contractors, so some people are going to do the job better than other people. I mean, it is what it is. There's more than 5 million life insurance clients and more than 2 million investment clients, right? That's a lot of people. You heard me talk about, the fact that they're listed on the New York Stock Exchange, again, which is a big deal. So typically when people think about Primerica, they think about recruiting and life insurance, only because, well, recruiting is a big part of, building a business, regardless of the business that you're in, by the way. Hey, at one point I hated recruiting, and what taught me or what changed my perspective about recruiting was when my wife was battling cancer, right? So we would leave leave the hospital and we would have to go straight to our dealership, because we had to sell cars, because I had, no sales team. I had no management there. We were everything, right? Because I didn't recruit. I'm riding down the street one day and I realized, I said, wait a minute, holy smokes, man. Walmart is hiring, Walgreens is hiring, Taco Bell, Best Buy, Target. Practically everybody had a now hiring sign up except for me, right? So it gave me a different perspective, on recruiting. If you go to Indeed.com or MustardJobs.com, man, there's tens of thousands of employers right now looking for new talent. Okay. So anyway, just want to kind of break this down a little bit. Primerica, really owns one product, and that's the life insurance. Okay. And we offer term, and we also have a final expense product. A lot of people don't talk about that, but final expense is life insurance policies for people that have had health issues, like my wife, for an example. Right now she's not eligible for a traditional life insurance policy, so she would have to get like a final expense, policy or whatever. Just due to her health history. But what Primerica has done is they've, strategically partnered with a lot of other major, powerhouses in the industry, right? Like Voya, AXA, right? For 401ks. I mean, I can offer 401ks for small and, large companies. We have a partnership with Lincoln Financial, AXA, AIG, Bright House, right? We have managed investments. We have mutual funds, Legg Mason, American Funds, Invesco, Franklin Templeton. Man, like some of these companies are absolutely kicking butt, when it comes to, investments, right? And I'm gonna kind of get into that a little bit later. I am going to share like, maybe 3 stories with you guys. I try to keep it short if possible, right? We just partnered with Quicken Loans to offer home mortgages. You see the long-term care, Vivint Smart Home, and Answer Financial. So through Answer Financial, we do auto, home, and commercial insurance. Vivint is Vivint, the smart home. And then we have the life insurance, right? And a partnership with Prosperity. That's the company we offer the final expense through. And hey, the company just bought, eTelequote, right? It is a company that offers Medicare, Medicaid, benefits. So Primerica is, actually pretty well situated in the financial market. And one of the things that I really like about it is that I'm able to offer investments for people with as little as $25 a month. Hey, I can recall calling a local financial firm, when I was younger, trying to figure everything out. And the amount of money they wanted from me to open up an investment account was astronomical. I can remember thinking to myself, man, if I had that much money, I wouldn't even need to talk to you guys, right? I mean, that's how I felt. So I like the partnership because there's so much that I'm able to do for people. So let me just clear that up, right? Tremaine, what do you do, right? What do you guys do? What does the company do? Man, there's a number of things, as you guys see here. The primary things that I focus on is helping families in the event that they die too soon, right? I want to make sure you're properly protected, that you have the right amount of life insurance in place, okay? Guys, let's just be real, man. And I'm sure a lot of y'all that are watching this video right now, just don't really understand how life insurance even works, how much to have, what to do with it, etc. Right? So I help people with that. We help people, get out of debt. Man, like that's a big deal. Right? I'm gonna tell a story right now, man. I had a client purchase a home last year, 30-year mortgage, a lot of debt actually. I was really quite surprised that, that they were able to acquire, such a feat, but they were able to do it, right? Which is phenomenal still. But we were able to help them, put together a plan, to pay off their mortgage and all their other debt in 6 years. Okay. Yeah. Like I did that. And I'm happy about it. I felt great about it. Hey, I had another client that I sat with, and I'm speaking about a few, but there's many of people, that we've helped, that we're helping currently. I had another client I sat with in 2019, was recently have been recently laid off. had a 401k. We did a rollover for this client. Since 2019, this gentleman has made, over $125,000 in interest. Okay. How do you minimize that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you discredit the ability to do that? Okay. So hey, those are just two stories. And yes, I felt really good about it. Did I get paid to do it? I got paid to do it. But my client has made so much more money than what we made off of helping him that, it is ridiculous. By the way, again, and this is for, the people that are, the super skeptics out there, because some of y'all are going to watch this and y'all are going to say, man, you know what? The things he said made sense. Some of you guys ain't nothing going to make sense because your mind is made up, and that's cool. But anyway, here are a number of companies and states that participate, in Primerica stock, that have ownership of the company, right? So you have Mass Mutual, Wells Fargo, Charles Schwab, Prudential, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Regions, Morgan Stanley, right? And then you have New York, Arizona, Florida, California. These states, right, have a retirement plan for their employees, right? And, their employees are participating in, Primerica stock. Here's my only point in showing you guys this. I mean, surely if these companies have decided that, Primerica is good enough to do business with, right? Surely they've done more investigating, more research, digging around into the financials, into the business practices, of Primerica, probably more than what anybody that's going to watch this on YouTube even have the ability to do. If it's good enough for USAA, if it's good enough for the state of Kentucky, right, for Mass Mutual, etc., I'm gonna bank that, the company got to be doing something right. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The company has got to be doing something right. Remember, I told you guys I wasn't really sure if I believed in that whole home office thing. Well, hey, this right here could have been a picture that I see, right? And it wasn't until they flew my wife and I out to home office, and they greeted us at the door, maybe 500 or so, employees, the company employees, over, 2,000, employees there, that I realized, nah, man, this is real. I mean, they're located in Duluth, Georgia, and they have a whole street named after them. I mean, that may not mean nothing to nobody, but, to me, it was, oh, okay, like this is real. All right. It's not what I minimize it to be. It's not what I, assumed that it was based upon, what I heard other people say in my bad experience. I'm reading some of the reviews online, and people real live are saying, oh, because I watched a YouTube video, I decided not to do it. I think that's crazy, right? Hey, Forbes in 2015 named Primerica as one of America's most trustworthy financial companies. In 2019, it's one of the best employers for women. 2019 and also in 2020, right? Not sure if you guys are familiar with AM Best. It is a company that rates the financial stability and customer service, etc., of life insurance companies. All right, hey, Primerica has an A+ rating with AM Best, right? Only 15% of insurance companies actually have an A+ rating, right? Enough of that. But I mean, that's just some of the credibility. And again, I realize some people are still going to be skeptical, just because, that's how people are kind of wired. I mean, we are more attracted to the negatives than we are to, positive stuff. I mean, it is what it is. So let's kind of dive into it really quick, guys. Man, I wanted this video to be a lot shorter, but I think it's just so much to unpack. I'm gonna kind of run through just a few of the things that, that I kind of heard, some of the complaints and issues, and man, maybe even some of the stuff I said myself at one point. First, there is no joining fee, right, to become a part of Primerica, to become an agent. There's no joining fee. All right. What there is a fee to get licensed. Okay. If you happen to sit down with an agent, and y'all are deciding to work together and you're already licensed, I mean, you can come on board and pay no money whatsoever. It is possible. You don't have to pay any money. All right. The fee of $124 and sometimes it's $74 is the fee to get you licensed. Well, what licenses, Tremaine? Your life insurance license, your investment license, right? When my wife came on board, because she actually got licensed in 2017, she paid $124. Homegirl got her life license. She got her Series 6, her Series 63, also her 26, and she's studying right now for her 65. Okay, I'm life and health license, right? I mean, she got all those licenses for $124. If you were going to get those licenses yourself, I mean, you're looking between $1,200 and $1,500, depending on, where you at and stuff, right? So I don't know, this whole scam thing. I mean, how do you scam a person when the fee to get something, is much less, it's so much lower than the value of what you're actually getting, and there's no contract, so it's not like Primerica is holding you hostage, so you could pay the $124 Monday, get licenses, I'm gonna just say on Friday, and kick rocks the following Friday if you wanted to, and you owe the company no money, right? You've gotten all these licenses for $124. Okay, that right there is what it is. When I got my license, by the way, but I paid a couple of $100. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know it was over $200 to get the license. Right now, thankfully, I was able to pass a test the first time, so I didn't have to, take it repeatedly. But I got an agent, paid $124, took the test 4 times before she passed. Man, the company paid $52 for her to take the test every time she took it, right? That's a total of $216. She paid $124. I don't know, guys. Like, I think that's a win-win. And as it is today, if you're coming on board as a new agent and you're going through the training process, you're actually able to make money and get that money that you spent reimbursed. So the most the company has paid a person for going through licenses was $18,000, right? The second was $11,000. Typically, it's somewhere between $700 to $1,400. What are we doing again? Helping people get properly protected, helping people eliminate debt, right? Helping people, secure their futures financially by putting together a game plan to retire. The mission statement is to help families earn more income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. I just can't imagine anything even wrong with that. I don't know, man. You guys let me know. Is there something wrong with that? Right now, I get it. Again, everybody don't approach the opportunity the same way. Everybody doesn't make it their business to make financial literacy their business, if you kind of catch my drift. So I get it. You're going to run into some bad apples. But again, I think that is in any business. I had to go see a doctor one day, and, the guy came in my room wearing a dirty lab coat. Man, I told him to kick rocks because his coat was dirty. I just figured if he couldn't take care of his clothes, he wasn't going to be able to take care of me. Right? Doesn't mean that all doctors are bad. No, it doesn't. That one, to me, wasn't it. Okay? So anyway, I just don't see nothing wrong with that stuff, right? Personally, man, I think it's great. I wish that we did get paid, by the way, to help people. Okay, I mean, when people decided to sign up is what I mean. I wish we did, but we don't make any money. When a person does an IBA, we don't get paid off of them doing an IBA. As a matter of fact, the only time Tremaine McTiller makes money is when I'm helping somebody. That is the only time I make money, is if I'm helping somebody. And if I'm honest and just, transparent, I've helped our agents make more money, right? By being a part of the entire process then not. Like, it is my responsibility to help them make money, right? How are we making money? We're helping people, right, eliminate debt, right, properly protect themselves and their families, and put together financial game plans to be able to retire with integrity, right, with some dignity. I just look, guys, let me know if I'm wrong, right? I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. Pyramids and MLMs. Well, pyramid schemes are illegal. Okay, so I don't even want to spend too much time on that. But for the people that don't know what a pyramid scheme is when I ask you for money to stand over here with me. Hey, give me $200, give me $300 and come stand on this side of the street with me. Well, Shemaine, what are we doing, bro? We're just hanging out. We ain't doing nothing. But yo, I need you to go and get some other people. And they're all going to pay a joining fee to just stand over here and just, look good, I guess. Right? That's a pyramid scheme. They are illegal. Let's dive into the multi-level marketing. Okay. Now, with most multi-level marketing companies, the person that's recruiting you, they're paid a fee, a commission for recruiting you, right? So they're making money to recruit people. Okay. In Primerica, you're not making money to recruit people. Okay. Now, I'll dive into that a little bit, but you're not making money to recruit people. So if I recruit you or you recruit me, right, and we do nothing to help nobody, we make no money. That just is what it is. But it's kind of like when I was selling cars. If I didn't sell a car, I made no money. Okay, but let's even unpack that a little bit, right? The whole pyramid thing, multi-level marketing thing, right? So you go to a car dealership. Most car salesmen are commission only. Okay, most real estate agents are commission only. So I get hired at a car dealership. Every car I sell, I'm paid a commission. The sales management team, they're paid a commission, right? The sales manager is paid a commission. The general manager is paid as well. The owner is paid as well. Everybody is making money from the sale of one car. I mean, guys, like that's really how business works. Okay, it's not a bad thing to have the ability to recruit somebody. I mean, we've made it into this horrible thing. I'm watching videos of people, well, you recruit this person, you make money here, then you recruit and they make money, or everybody just making money. Like, is it different on your job? One of these reviews was done by a young lady. I want to say Mary, somebody was her name. I can't even remember right now. But she talked about how her and her boyfriend worked at a restaurant as servers. Like, this restaurant has to have an owner. I'm sure they have a general manager. I'm sure there's probably a couple of managers. Then you got your servers. Then you got your bus boys. And then you got your hostesses and stuff like that. I just don't understand how it's set up any different. Maybe I'm ignorant. As it relates to that. I've owned a few businesses. By the way, but hey, it's possible that I don't understand it. Hey, I don't doubt that. In most multi-level marketing, situations, you have to buy a product. So the person that recruited me make money off me becoming a business partner, but also I have to purchase a product, right, from them so they make money again, and I don't get my money back until I redistribute or resell that product. Well, in this business, I'm not selling agents a product to redistribute. Right? So again, I mean, look at it how, however you want to look at it, but no. Man, I love the business model. And as it sits right now, my wife and I, we can go and we can open up our own financial firm if we wanted. I mean, we're fully licensed. We can do that. Right? So why I don't? Man, because this platform, all the work has been done, the contracts, the companies, etc. Like, I don't have to do that. And here's the biggest thing though. Man, I can build a massive agency. And yes, like that's what I'm working towards, building a massive agency. Well, Tremaine, why do you want to recruit so many people? Because I really believe in what I do. Like I've seen it. Like I know I'm a product of it. Okay. I was, a victim, if you will, of financial illiteracy. I don't know if it's fair to say that, but I mean, I was definitely getting my butt kicked, because I didn't understand money. Right. I believe in what it is that I do. Okay, so I'm only one person. There's only so many people I can help. So if I want to help more people, I need more people. Okay, I mean, but again, that's no different than any other business. Man, you go to Chick-fil-A, perfect system, by the way. I mean, look, they have people standing outside the Chick-fil-A taking your order. Okay, no matter how long the line is at Chick-fil-A, I swear I never stand. I'm never in line longer than 5 minutes or so before I get my food. Well, in order to run that smooth system like that, they have to have a lot of people. About like 5 people outside. That's like maybe 20 people inside. Okay. Anyway, speaking with family and friends. Okay, hey, they wanted to go see my family and friends. Somebody was like, there was no way I was going to let them go see my family and friends. Absolutely not. And let me just say, there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't trust a person, though, you shouldn't have been working with them anyway. Like you should have never gave them any money to, help you get licensed anyway. I mean, you just shouldn't have, right? But outside of that, let's unpack that a little bit. Okay. If you knew for sure, you believe that I had the ability to change the financial, trajectory of a household, right? If I was able to, take a family and say, hey, let's steer the ship this way so you can see more money, right, in your account, so you're saving more. Let's help put together a plan to eliminate some of that debt. And Mr. and Mrs. Client, look, if something were to happen to you, I want to make sure that your spouse and your family isn't struggling financially. They're not in a poorhouse. But if you live a long, vibrant life, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we need to have a plan to make sure you're able to retire and not be at Walmart stocking shelves at 70 years old. If you truly believe I had that ability, would you allow me to talk to your family and friends? Now, you may be looking at me now with the, cap on to the back and, whatever. And I don't know, maybe you're saying not, but when I'm on an appointment, like, nah, I'm suited and booted, I mean, I'm, definitely professional. I decided to dress down a little bit and do this video because, yeah, like I just felt like dressing down and doing this video. Um, anyway, I mean, that's just how I see it. And if I was struggling and having a hard time, and I was at one point, and if you knew, how I could go in there and fix my situation, and you didn't share it with me, but I'd be upset at you. I'd be pissed, like, yo, nephew, you knew all along, that I was struggling, you know, you had a possible solution, and you didn't want to sit and talk to me. Guys, I have helped people make more money in their investments than what they're making working 12 months. I mean, what we do for people is amazing. And if you sat with somebody and you didn't get that, you didn't understand it, you didn't hear it, man, I apologize. I'm telling you now, though, that no. What we're putting down when I'm talking to a client, man, is nothing short of amazing. I love it. But that's because I really love helping people, though. So yeah, no, I mean, we should share information with our family and friends that we believe to be good. Okay. And yes, you have to believe something to be good. And again, if you don't, then I'm gonna say you shouldn't have talked to that person, or you shouldn't have worked with that person to begin with. All right, so I do want to share a few stories. I'm gonna share a story with you guys for y'all that are still listening. I had a young lady that I recruited. Okay. And The day I spoke to her, she was really excited, and she wanted to work with us. Anyway, she gets in the car. She calls her uncle. Hey, auntie, uncle, man, I'm about to do this amazing thing, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna change so many lives and make so much money. And her auntie and uncle shot her down, right? You have real live dream killers out there, right? Loading the shotgun, boom, right, shooting you right out the air. And so anyway, man, I called her, liking some of the reviews, right? Hey, I heard something bad about it. Man, I'm glad I dodged that bullet. I'm glad that, hey, I watched this video and heard this, sorry, sad, review, and I decided not to do it. So she was that person. She wasn't returning no phone calls or anything like that, by the way. I bumped into her downtown one day, and she waves me down and she says, look, man, I'm still having a hard time. I still can't figure out, what's going on, financially. I want to sit with you again. Yeah, my auntie, my uncle, they shot me down. So I was able to schedule an appointment with the auntie and uncle. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all how that went real quick. Uncle tells me when I sit down that he had all the licenses, okay, and it didn't work. He made no money, he said, right? He said, no, man, I used to run with this guy and that guy. He started dropping names. I'm not going to drop names right now because I didn't get permission to drop any names, but he started mentioning people. I'm able to pull up in the, Primerica Online. I'm able to pull up and see how much money people are making, by the way. So that's no secret. Like you can pull it up and see how much money people in every state and in Canada and other places, you can see how much money people are making. So I pulled it up. Every person he mentioned, they're making over $500,000 right now. Every last one of them. I think he mentioned 3 people. They're all making over $500,000. One guy that he mentioned right now is making over $3 million a year. So yeah, what do you mean it didn't work? What do you mean it don't work? Nothing works, by the way, if you don't work it. And it don't matter what that is. So I don't want y'all to feel like I'm being biased. Right? I'm an entrepreneur at heart. If you don't work it, it won't work. And building a business is tough. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody. Okay? This young lady had made a decision to not do something based upon what somebody told her. So, needless to say, and this was a little while ago, she came on board to work with us, man. I look at her like a little sister, and she's doing amazing. And if she calls me, I'm always there, right? If she needs help with something, like I'm there. And no, we're not pushy, overbearing, obnoxious salespeople. As a matter of fact, if I gotta sell you something, when people think of sale, they're thinking arm twisting and fancy words and all. If I gotta sell it to you, man, I don't want you to be my client. Right? Like if I gotta sit with a family and convince your butt to get some insurance if you don't have any or if you don't have enough or whatever the case may be, if I gotta sit down and convince your butt, right, to allow me to help you, implement some strategies to get out of debt, if I gotta sit down and help your butt, convince your butt to allow me to help you to set up a retirement account when you don't have one or don't know how much money you need and or you're not on track for retirement, and if I gotta convince you, I don't want you to be my client. Because here's the reality. I'll have to convince you every month when it's time to make the payment. Baby, I ain't got time for that, okay? So, tell y'all another story, right? This one maybe some of y'all can relate to. Hey, I don't mind being transparent, but I recruited a young lady once, and young girl. I was really surprised, she decided to come on board because I knew it was outside of her normal scope of things, right? But I probably talked to her maybe 45 minutes or so. She wanted to own her own beauty salon. She wanted to have a couple of businesses. She was kind of like in a small town. And I told her she can do whatever she put her mind to. Okay? Man, if you want to do it, you can do it. That's what I told her. Some of you guys will say, because she said it, that I sold her a dream. I don't know. Look, if somebody believing you can do something is a bad thing, then I'm horrible. Because I believe everybody can do something if they put their mind to it. So anyway, she come on board with us. She's excited too. Man, she calls me like maybe an hour later and she says, man, I want a refund. Right? Which, I was, like, hey, what happened? This is what she said out of her mouth. She said she feels like we sold her a dream. She continued to say that you guys are telling me I can do all of this stuff. And I heard some people say that today, man. Like somebody they told me I can do this, I can do that. They sold me a bunch of fluff. Maybe inside you feel like you can't do nothing. I don't know. But I want to be around people that feel like I can do anything, right? That energy kind of becomes contagious. Okay. So, after listening to her kind of rant about, how we sold her on a dream, it became clear to me that what really happened is that somebody else sold her on a nightmare. So I said to her, I go, wait a minute, hold up. It sounds like to me like somebody done told you you can't do something. And she says, you know what? I called a friend of mine. This guy worked at Verizon and I was telling him about what I was going to do and stuff like that. And, he shot it down, told her that nobody wants to hear about retirement. Nobody wants to hear about life insurance. Just get you a job and just work it forever. That's what she said, this person said. So I guess their opinion about life and success just weighed heavier than ours. Okay. So we gave her a refund, by the way. I don't want to hold your money and I don't want to work with you if you don't want to work with me. Okay. But I think the point of that, though, was just simply to say that the reality is that a lot of people aren't ready to change their situation. Because if you were, look, and I get it, there's nothing wrong with, researching and looking at videos and stuff like that. But you kind of got to come to a point where you realize that maybe where you want to go, may require more of you sometimes than what people are willing to give. And the truth is that I can't listen to a person that isn't in position to offer me something better. That's just my opinion. Man, look, I love my dad. I mean, he's really good with his hands, very mechanically inclined. He's a great builder of sorts. Man, if I wanted to know how to change my brakes, man, my dad is the perfect guy. He is. If I had, questions about, scriptures and things like that, like I can talk to my dad about that. My mom makes a mean banana pudding, by the way. I love banana pudding too, right? If I wanted to make a banana pudding, like my mom is the person to talk to. Guys, if I had questions or concerns about owning a business, well, neither one of them have done that. I just wouldn't go to them for that type of advice. They're probably going to be more skeptical, probably going to shoot me down, because they just never done that. What they know is you go to work and you work for X amount of years and you retire. Okay. So anyway, look, I don't know, if any of this makes any sense, if it helps at all or whatever the case may be, but look, my wife and I, and I'm not going to tell y'all that I feel like I'm just living my dream life yet. My wife always gets on me when I say that because she says, well, Tremaine, you may not be living your dream life, but to somebody, our life is maybe kind of a dream. I'm able to spend time with my family, my kids, my wife, her and I work together every day. We're able to take trips, when, we want to. Now I'm not, just booking flights to, but, Dubai, whenever I want to, but, we're able to travel here within the States. I'm not having to request permission for time off. You know, we're making money, we're saving the right way. I'm not paycheck to paycheck, no, like we're doing good. You know, I love it. I love it here. Man, I like the company. I mean, there's so much stuff I can really say about the company. I'm not going to get into all that, but man, Primerica is a great opportunity for the right person. But again, I mean that same can be said for anybody seeking any opportunity. Every opportunity is is the right opportunity for the right person. Being a doctor is the right opportunity if I'm the right person. If I got the ability to go to school and the mental capacity to study and pass the test, and then no, that's a great field. Law is a great field if you can defend and speak and all that stuff, right? Is it for everybody? It's not, but that don't make it bad because some people aren't successful in it. By the way, remember I said I have access to the amount of money people are making. I'm gonna tell you guys now, like, people are making money, and I'm not talking about Happy Meal money. No, people are making life changing money. We have what's called the African American Leadership Council. Now, there's a Hispanic American Leadership Council, and then there's just, Primerica, right? Um, but in the AALC, I was looking at it today. Man, I went down to like maybe 3,000 people. Um, I mean, there's no, I'm sorry. So overall, the company wide, I went down to like 3,000 people. But it's like over 3,000 people making over $100,000 a year. Now, I mean, I don't know. Somebody's going to say, well, that's only 3,000 people. There's a lot of people ain't making no money. Ain't true. There is. I don't know what those people are doing, but there is. But again, I mean, that could be said for every industry, right? I mean, trucking is a good industry. Is everybody in trucking making money? No, they're not. You know. Anyway, guys, look, man. If you have any questions, man, some stuff that I didn't touch on that you want me to touch on, just drop it in the comment section. Hey, if you got some questions you want to meet one on one, and it don't matter what it's about, man. Look, I'm that guy. I'll talk to you. I'll give you the good, the bad, the ugly, and different. And if you got a question about how some things are being done, and you just want to know if it's what it should be, hey, please feel free, hit me up. I'm telling you right now, though, I made the decision to get licensed in the financial services industry, and it was the best decision of my life. Next to salvation and getting married and my wonderful kids. Yeah. So, hey, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I love Primerica. They're taking great care of me and my family. But they're just providing the resources, the platform. I mean, we're really doing all the work, but I'm that guy, though, right? I'm not afraid of change and other stuff. Anyway, look, I'm gonna stop right now because hey, this video has already been super long, like over an hour. For you guys that have stayed, man, I wish I could, I don't know, give you a prize or something like that, man. Good job, kudos to you. If you heard something valuable in here, man, drop it in the comment section. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people saying a lot of stuff, but yeah, this is the before and after, Primerica Financial Services, great company, right? You should do it. Okay. You should do it. You should get licensed, right? Maybe change your own situation financially. And it ain't got to be linked to nobody. If you don't like the person that recruited you, man, there's tons of stuff. I mean, you can do this without their help, really. I mean, you could. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, man, you guys have a wonderful day. Like the channel, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. I'm kind of new to this, right? But do all that stuff. My wife and I are going to be posting a lot of, I think, really cool content here because we're really cool and we have a really cool family. Yeah. Anyway, you guys be easy, man. Y'all be safe and y'all enjoy.